Yeah, so welcome to this update video. This is our July 2023 update video, so hopefully we'll update you on what we've been doing and what we're about to do, I suppose, in the end of July and August.
Yeah.
So first on our menu is looking back at the tour we've just done, the Isle of Wight tour.
Yeah.
You want to say a little bit about that? Because we've got all the sort of costs and things.
Yeah, I mean, you can put this up on
we'll put this up on the screen now.
Yeah. Basically, I've just sort of done things like the ferry. I think people were really interested in how much did the ferry cost.
Yeah.
That was, for the motorhome, it's 141.62 return, and for the car it was 108.60.
Yeah, someone was booking a ferry ticket from Lymington to Yarmouth and asked how much we paid for it, and they realised that we got quite a good discount through the Caravan and Motorhome Club.
Yeah,
so if you remember, it's worth actually having a look on the website at the ferry crossings.
And
we've done that before, and we're doing that with the Eurotunnel, so I think you get a reasonable
discount. And we booked that early, didn't you? I mean, yeah, I think we booked it in last October. You were so keen, you just said, let's book it.
Yeah.
So then maybe that helped, that we booked it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was sort of one of the bigger costs. We had a few meals out.
Let's move this.
£265 meals out, but that's over like 15 days.
Yeah.
And then site fees were 540. That's 15 nights at an average of £36 a night.
Okay.
Then we had a couple. I think we had a couple of service pitches, but that's the whole trip. It's going from Broadway back to Winchester, Warwick, and then home.
Yeah.
So the whole trip cost us £1,394.96.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we enjoy most about that trip?
What did you enjoy? I enjoyed the Isle of Wight. Yeah, no, I think the Isle of Wight was really good. Yeah, a little bit step back in time, but there's so much to see there. I was quite amazed. We only really saw, well, we went to Osborne House, we had Carisbrooke Castle and the steam railway, but there's all the sort of things that Needles we missed. And
yeah, because if we'd had another day, I was going to go down the south of the island, but we didn't have another day.
Ventnor and the loads to see. So definitely want to go back there. No.
And we never found the model village, because we were in the car. And we got Mrs. Satnag to take us there. It's a boiling hot afternoon, and we got as far as...
we got a bit tired, to be honest.
We got tired, and but we ended up in a Haven resort.
Did we?
And then there was a pathway that said to the model village, but it said something about 4 kilometres.
Yeah, and it looked like a bridle way.
Yeah. So we started.
So we turned round.
No, we can't do that. And then it just Poppy was really hot, so we thought we'd better leave that. And
it probably was. It probably was the way to it, wasn't it? Thinking about it.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah. Oh well, it's good job we didn't take the motor. Perhaps the road was a part of the model village as well. It looked that small.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so that was our Isle of Wight trip. I'd love to go back there. We did enjoy it.
And it's a little bit of going abroad whilst you're still at home, isn't it?
Yeah. Somebody else asked how long the ferry journey was. It was 40 minutes,
40 minutes, yeah. And it was flat, calm, and it was over before,
Especially as we got on that earlier ferry, because literally we got there straight on the ferry and then straight off.
Halfway across the
Solent. No waiting about.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we were nearly late for the ferry back, weren't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Which was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, because I thought it was 9:15 and it was actually 9:05, but we were there.
We were there plenty of time. Yeah. That's all right. The other thing I did get from the Isle of Wight, and don't shoot me here, but I'm one of the 2.7 million people every year who get a speeding ticket.
Yes.
So I actually got that on the coast road back to the Isle of Wight. Going along, we're looking at, to be honest, I was looking at the harbour. Oh, look at the pretty boats, sort of thing. Didn't notice my speed had crept up over the 30 miles an hour. Come round the corner, and lo and behold, there's a speed camera van there sitting on the top of the hill.
I think he's there a lot, because I'm sure we saw him on the way out.
Yeah. So I think most of those 2.7 million probably get a ticket just there. 37 and a 30. So a week after we got back, I got the the parking fine notice, and I thought it was interesting because if you're doing between 35 and 40, I think it is, it's you have the opportunity of doing a speed awareness course, and there's like degrees of severity.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if anything
yeah.
over 40, then they have to make their mind up whether you're going to get a fine or go on a speed awareness course. And anything over, I wish I could remember. I should have brought the ticket with me.
Yeah, I know. But
But
you were
yeah.
doing 37 in a 30.
So, yeah, so hands up, I made a mistake. I wasn't concentrating. It's my own silly fault. It's the first speeding ticket I've had in 50 years.
That's right. And I control the camera, so you know, don't think that you were busy thinking when you're recording something, because I've got remote control. I do the camera.
Yeah, yeah. So no, it was just me. I was, you know, captivated by the harbour really, and there was no one around. You know. Anyway, I'll probably discuss more of this once I've done my speed awareness course.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to tell people
Yeah.
what you learnt on that or
What
whatever.
what I didn't sort of realise is that you have to pay for the speed awareness course, so that's so that's part of the fine. They're about
Yeah.
90 quid the courses.
Yeah.
And you can do them online, so I'm going to see if
Yeah.
I can get them done online, and I'll let you know.
And you've told the insurance company before anybody
yeah.
says, have you done that? Yes, you have, because the same insurance company insures the van and the car.
Yeah, and
So-
it came, actually the van came up for renewal, so I
Yes.
thought, well, I better let them know that I'd had a speeding ticket, and he said, have you opted for the speed awareness course, and told me you could do it online. So I said, yeah. He says, oh no, they don't normally worry.
No. In fact, the premium for the motorhome was the same as last year.
Exactly the same as last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So unless obviously you're keen on building up some points, then speed
Speed
awareness,
awareness.
as long as you're not
Yeah.
doing silly speeds.
That's right, yeah.
Not that 37 isn't silly speed.
Yeah,
but
no.
I was just a little bit annoyed because I am pretty. Most times I'm the guy driving along in the 30 mile an hour, doing less than 30 miles an hour, holding everyone up. And it was just a lack of concentration. The 30 mile an hour signs were about that big.
They weren't very big, were they?
No.
Because we played back the video, because I was recording coming along there, and it's a tiny little thing, and sometimes there's a tree over it, but I mean, the clue should have been there were houses.
Well, that's right.
appearing,
Yeah,
so
I mean, normally if there's no clear indication that the speed limit is 30.
it's 30, yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm not trying to make excuses.
No,
I'm a bad boy. I should have been concentrating. So
Yes,
I've cost us 90 quid
yes,
at least.
yeah. Yeah, so moving on to about the car.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the car.
That was the other present, wasn't it? Yeah. So we come back, and the car's MOT was due at the beginning of July. So it also had to have a service, usual sort of oil change, pollen filter change, and a brake fluid change. They specify a brake fluid change every so often. I can't remember how often it is. So I had all of that and an MOT. That was about 300
and something, yeah.
380, I think it was altogether.
Yeah.
And it failed its MOT. So, oh joy.
Yeah.
But it's the good news is it was actually something that was quite dangerous, and that's why we have MOTs after all. One of the rubber tyre valves on the back near side wheel had cracked. It'd got quite a severe crack in it. I was going to try and find the footage because the garage filmed it, but I couldn't figure out how to get the footage off the.
No.
But it got quite a crack in it, and
I mean, I've been noticing, because we have the two tyre pals, don't we?
Yeah.
And I've had the tyre pal for the car next to me. You know, what I'm doing as I'm going along is I check that. I keep looking in the back, make sure that, so everything looks fine. And I kept saying that one doesn't seem as good at the back.
No,
it wasn't dramatic.
No, it was losing about two psi a month, something like that.
Something like that. And then it would pick up, and sometimes it was the same as the other one on the back. So I thought, well, it's okay. But obviously there was a slow leak that maybe was getting worse.
Yeah, and of course if that tyre valve had got corroded any more, then I would have had a blowout, wouldn't I? Really?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the car is all been cleaned and everything, isn't it? And
yeah, I mean, fair dues to Cork Hills in Southport. They do a good job, reasonable prices, and I'm quite happy with what they've done, and certainly changing the brake fluid made quite a difference. I was quite surprised at that. Brake pedal feels a lot firmer.
Yeah.
So that's
the
that.
car,
That's
yeah.
the bad news, isn't it? The other thing that needed updating, speaking of updating, was a sat nav, Mrs. Sat Nav. There were a couple of updates, waiting, a software update and a map update. You get free updates with the Avtex Tourer 2 and I'm soon with the Tourer 3. So it just tells you when there's an update. So I started doing the update and it said there's not enough room on the device to do the update. So fortunately it's got an SD card slot at the back of it, and I've forgotten about this. So you can I put a 32 gig SD card in the back, and then it allows it to do the update.
Does it read the maps and everything from there, or did you just use that?
It said some of the maps are now on that card.
Yeah.
So you have to obviously leave the card in. You can't take it out.
Yes, you can't take the card out.
No.
Well, I wonder if it's as quick, if it's got to read off there.
I don't know. Well, perhaps whether it's slowed down or not. But that was the problem with our previous sat nav. If you remember, it had no expandability and it kept running out of space.
Yeah.
So,
that's right.
So at least the Avtex has got some expandability.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's only up to 32 gig, the SD card. I put in a 64, thinking might as well have a bit more. And then, of course, I read 32 up to 32.
Up to 32.
Yeah. So that's that.
We'll have to see how she gets on. I don't want her slowing down, do we?
No, that's right. The other thing is the Wave 2. I sort of said at the end of the EcoFlow Wave 2 that we got a replacement device, and they replaced the whole thing. So that was good, and it works beautifully. It really does. We're very pleased with it. We've got it in the lounge at the moment, keeping Poppy cool, and the drain function works. So on a humid day like this, it's actually draining out the drain tube quite well, and it sort of proves how much humidity there is in the air. And it's just brilliant having air conditioning in the lounge. We've had an old unit upstairs for some while, and that makes a hell of a noise.
I know, and that's supposed to be portable. I mean, it's got wheels, but it's
you wouldn't want
really difficult.
You wouldn't want to carry it down the stairs. No,
you wouldn't. So it's sort of stayed in one of the bedrooms where it doesn't really affect us downstairs. No, I'm pleasantly surprised with it.
Someone asked us, would we buy one? And I never really want to answer those questions in the video because I'm trying to just give an open appraisal of what the device is like. But I think you said you'd buy one if we hadn't already got it. But without being given one
and reviewing one, we wouldn't have known. Or watching. I mean, if we hadn't reviewed it ourselves, we probably would have watched somebody else who'd reviewed it.
Now I know someone's thinking, they're just saying this because they want a bit of commission on their affiliate links. But if you do want to buy one, I will leave the link in the description, and you can make your own mind up. Surely.
I know. I noticed watching somebody else's review that Urban Van Life, he's actually done a template for the window. Yeah,
he found a company that does a template for the window, and someone commented on that, saying that if you're putting it out that window, the driver's side or indeed the passenger side, you've got it on the chair, then that's an ideal solution. Can't really do that because we've now got the table there, and Poppy normally sits in this chair, the passenger seat, so I can't really put the EcoFlow on the chair and put it out the window. So what I really need is a template for that side window, really. I might look into that. But it has worked pretty well. I know we're not using it to its most effectiveness. We need to have all the windows closed, need to have a sealed area, we need to have fresh air in, and it's still cool.
It's still cool.
It's wonderful.
I couldn't have stood to do any cooking in the Isle of Wight, to be honest, without that in there.
You could have cooked outside, I suppose.
Well, it was even hotter.
It was.
I mean, that day that you went to the steam railway, it was 30 degrees. And I stayed behind with Poppy because I thought she's going to get really too hot, and I was worried about the paths and the platforms and whatever. So I stayed with her. The previous Wave 2 filled up with water. I couldn't empty it because the drain thing wasn't working. So
you
it
didn't
went
know
off.
how to empty it, did you?
Well, I'd seen you take that bung off at the back, but I mean, there's no way that I could lift that over to the sink.
No, it's 14 kilograms in case anyone's wondering.
So
Yeah.
We were getting hot,
Yeah.
and because it wouldn't work as efficiently, it just acts like a fan, doesn't it, when
Yeah.
it's full up?
Yeah.
So when we went outside, it was worse out there,
Yeah.
came back in, and then luckily you came back and
Yeah.
emptied it. And,
Yeah.
it's just like luxury, you know,
Yeah.
when you're that hot.
Yeah. I can't beat air conditioning.
No.
And I know we could have one in the roof, but they are more expensive. They are fixed. You can't take them indoors, and you know,
Yeah.
and you couldn't use them in a tent or an awning, really.
No.
No.
It's been. I mean, we've been home for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we've had that going every day. We've taken it upstairs into the bedroom.
Could probably do with it going in here.
We
It's
could
getting a bit
actually. Can
warm
you
in
go and get it? Yes. Anyway, I like it.
Yeah.
That's
So
honest opinion.
that's the important thing.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Right. So leads us nicely on to our next tour, which is making our way up to Orkney. So really looking forward to this. We went to Orkney in 2015, was it? Something like that? No, before then?
2006, I think.
Oh, was it that long ago?
We went in the Vista.
Oh.
So it's that long ago. So I think it's about 2004, 2005. We had Katie as a 5 or 6 year old dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it chucked it down most of the day.
Yeah, and I said after that trip on that ferry that I would never go on another ferry again because I was so ill on the way back.
Yeah, and it's taken you this long really to get you going back onto ferries.
Yeah, so we're not doing the ferry that we did that time. We're hoping to do, is it the Pentland ferry?
Is it to St Margaret's Hope Bay? Isn't
it?
Yeah,
from Gills. It's from Gills Bay to St
Bay.
Margaret's Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've booked a little CL either side.
Yeah.
So that it's
to
easy to get there, and we haven't go too far and we get off.
Yeah. So if you are seasick, then obviously.
Yeah, it's not It can't be not the calmest. I mean, I'm following them on Facebook, and I did notice that some of their sailings were delayed.
Yeah. Well,
the
they
other
do
day.
delay them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
So
bad.
you know.
Because it's there's a lot of sort of currents meeting that. Sort of,
Don't put me off.
Sorry.
So we're going at all. Yeah.
I'll just leave you at Thurso then.
Yeah, leave me at Thurso.
leave
I've
you
got
at
a friend in
Bay.
Thurso, so you can leave
go
me
stay
there.
with her, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So you've got a little route
I've got a
here.
route that
Yeah.
I've struggled to make a video of.
Yeah, so first stop is Glasgow. We probably won't film Strathclyde Country Park, but we're looking forward to get to Ballater. I don't think we've been here before.
No, we've just driven through it, so I think we've never been to this campsite, but it's very close to the town.
Yeah.
This one, Bob and Aileen have just been to this near Inverness, and they say it's lovely.
Yeah, so we're going here rather than Culloden.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're going to a CL, Caravan Motorhome Club CL, right at the top near Castle May.
Yeah, should be nice.
Yeah, so that should be good.
We could have a look at the castle itself, couldn't we?
Then we're over on the ferry, and I booked Pool Farmhouse, Orkney, CL again, for a couple of nights. Then, so we could have a look round Kirkwell, we're going to a council site, which is at the
Pickaway Centre.
Thank you. At Kirkwell, yeah. So
yeah.
we'll be able to look round the main town. Then back to Dunnet Bay, which we haven't been to for...
Sorry, we're on Orkney for 5 nights?
4 nights.
4 nights.
Yeah, so then we go back to Dunnet Bay, then to Brora, where we went many years ago. It's a lovely little site with access to the beach, isn't it?
Yeah, and a golf course next to it.
And then this was what you wanted to do.
Well, I've always wanted to go here and never been able to get there. I've always sort of planned to go here, Rosemarket, where the dolphins are.
Yeah. Then we're going on to one of my favourites, I haven't been to for years, Morvik.
Yeah.
And I think I booked 4 nights here, and if the weather's good, you're near the castle, aren't you? It's great.
Yeah.
Then to North Leadaig, which we did years ago
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah, for a couple of nights.
Yeah.
And then we're going down to one that's in Inverary, Argyle Caravan Park.
Right, okay.
So I'm not sure.
We're not sure about it, but
no,
we'll
give it a go. Yeah, 2 nights there. And then we're back to Green Acres at Carlisle, which is actually a tranquil park.
And then we're making our way home from there.
Yeah, we're making our way home from there. So it's a sort of a up there and round trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to that. And like I say, we've booked some CLs and some private sites in there, so hopefully there'll be some something other than caravan
Yeah.
motor club sites.
Yeah, I mean, and the only other thing when
Yeah.
you don't book with a club and
Mm.
you're not sort of filling out, you know, another set of dates,
Yeah.
is I did make a mistake because we were going from Morvik, so
Yeah.
because I'd come out the club site, I then was booking North Lee Day, so I went on there, forgot what dates that I'd booked Morvik for, and after I'd done it
You
and
booked
paid
it wrong,
another
yeah.
deposit,
You had to ring them up,
we
didn't
had
we?
to ring them up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was easy solved, but
yeah.
if you're booking through either of the clubs, because if you make a mistake with a date, it
Yeah.
will pop up and say, sorry, you're already going to
Yeah.
another site.
Yeah.
Contrary to myths that you can book more than one site on a day.
Yeah,
You can't.
you can't. No. Prove that, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is we've got Tara with us. Tara couldn't come with us. There was a clash of dates or something. I can't remember how it worked out last time. So she's coming with us on the Scottish tour. Sister's got things to sort out. So
Yeah.
she said, can we look after her for a while? So she's coming with us to Orkney and back. So looking forward to that. The other thing we've been having long discussions about, and it's getting a little bit boring really, is a bike rack for taking the electric bike. Now it's a folding electric bike, which is great if you've got a garage, not so handy if you want to bring it in a motorhome here like this without a garage, because what I was last time we took it in the van, I was leaving it on the front seat, on the driver's seat, and moving it into the bedroom whilst we were going along. Sometimes it moved the bedroom and couldn't get into the bedroom. It's a real pain having it on that driver's seat because obviously you can't use that seat. Since we did that, we've added the table, which makes it even more complicated. So
And Tara.
Yeah. So really sort of pushing us towards getting a bike rack. I mean, didn't want to get a bike rack that goes on the back of the motorhome, that's just, you know, on those fixings, because they're not really, the back of those fixings are not really designed for electric bikes, which are necessarily heavier than ordinary push bikes. So didn't want to sort of risk. We've seen,
Well, I've read some horror stories of somebody saw somebody at campsite, they put two electric bikes on an ordinary bike rack and pulled the whole thing back off the van.
Yeah, so we don't want to
So I don't want to do
risk that.
No.
Especially if you're going to take an electric bike and perhaps another bike, we wouldn't want to do that. So we're going to go for one of these Thule ones that are mounted on the
Tow bar.
tow bar. Thank you. Brain's gone. I've been talking.
Tow bar mounted bike rack.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to go for that. Let's be honest, we can't afford it at the moment.
No.
We've had some big expenses on the house recently as well. So we're going to get some new blinds for the lounge.
And we were to our roof repaired, didn't we? Because
Yeah.
our bay window roof was leaking, and that's why we need new blinds, because it leaked and they've all gone a horrible, so rusty.
Wrecked the blinds, yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
So we've got Hillary's coming in.
On
to measure us up.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I can't afford a bike rack at the moment.
No.
So,
well,
so-
that and the insurance and the MOT and
Yeah, not to mention the MOT.
and I had to pay the
insurance and-
deposit for the Euro Tour,
Oh,
the
that-
balance of the Euro
yeah,
Tour.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so,
so-
paid for that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a heavy old month on the bank account.
Yeah.
This
So
month, so we might leave that for a bit. So we're not going to take the bike.
That's what you're trying
long
to say.
story short.
yeah, I mean, we've been able to take, if we took the car, we'd be
Yeah.
able to take the bike in the back of the car.
Yeah,
But
we're not taking the
we're
car.
not taking the car because we always planned this tour would be one which we just use the van.
Yeah, this tour is like 2 or 3 nights at the most at each site, isn't it? So
Yeah. So and it's easy to get around if you want to go out for the day.
Yeah, I mean Scotland's brilliant if you want to go out for the day. You can go out from the campsite and
Yeah, and it's nice to go out and make yourself a drink and
Yeah.
all this sort of thing. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sort of lends itself to that sort of
Yeah.
touring.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Isle of Wight, we went to the car for all the narrow little roads.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're taking the EcoFlow and taking Tara, but not taking the bike.
No, because the Wave 2 you're talking
Wave 2,
about. The
yeah.
Wave 2 fits under your bed, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. We're not taking the awning because that's made some space for the Wave 2. Eventually, eventually. We're going to change this motorhome, aren't we?
Eventually, yeah. We keep going around in circles with this as well.
Yeah, I think when it got to 3 years old, we started talking about changing it, and we probably mentioned it in the pre-October last year NEC show that we were going to be looking for a van. We are, in our minds, still looking for a van, but what we're finding is the sort of vans we like are a huge leap from what we would get for this van now.
I know.
Because we bought like a mid-spec van. You've got the big leap from what was Kon-Tiki Sport is now Escape in the Swift range up to the Kon-Tiki. So, you know, there's a gap of, I don't know, from 85,000 up to about 120,000.
Yeah.
To get something that would match the spec of this, which is frightening, really.
Yeah, so it's such a big leap. I mean, in the past we've had a 20,000
25.
gap, 25. So
normally
maximum it's been that for what we've got for ours and what we've got again. But
yeah, but we watched a MMM video. Now some of you might have seen it, and it was a video on the Malibu, was it 490 LE, a semi-integrated van, 7.5 metres, twin beds at the back, nice big garage. There were things weren't so keen on it. Got the Continental lounge, obviously the door on the wrong side, as most Continental vans have, but it was a really nice van. But Peter Vaughan kept saying, you'll have to pay extra for this, and you'll have to pay extra for that, and you have to pay. I was thinking, is that all included in the price that he quoted, 110,000, or is that on top of that?
I thought it was 120,000. He started off saying it would be 85, 89.
Yeah.
Then he kept saying, if you want this, it's an extra this and it's an extra that.
Yeah.
And I think in the end he ended up at 129,000. Well, that's
it's a huge leap.
Gap, isn't it?
We paid about 60,000 for this 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think looking at second-hand prices, we'd roughly get back what we paid for it.
Yeah,
but then we'd be thinking, oh well, perhaps we could buy something for 80 something. But
yeah,
not 100 and nearly 130.
Which is why we were looking at the Adamo, because the Adamo's relatively reasonably priced at 75,000.
Yeah.
But it's 3.5 ton, which is fine, but can't tow anything. And we did double check that on the Adamo. We did actually see someone at Southport, funnily enough, who was towing a car. Now, we asked Bailey what the towing limits on the Adamo were. When it first came out, it had no towing allowance at all, the first series. The second series had a 750 kilogram towing limit, and I checked with Tow Frame what their recommendation is and what you can tow with a car, and they look at the mass in service figure on the V5, which is basically a driver and the unladen weight, so unladen weight plus 75 kilos, and that on the up I think is
900, didn't you say, just over 900?
It's over 900,
about
it's 928, so we couldn't tow the up with an Adamo.
No, so we're back to this. We've got this dilemma the whole time, haven't we? Do we just have a motorhome and we leave the car always at home, just as a run around, or do we, and then you go out on your bike all the time?
Yeah.
Or do we want to have the car? Now, I like, me personally, I like having the car when we go on like this recent trip, and obviously if we stay at Somerswood and we're going in and out to the show, we can. It acts as an extra storage. I mean, this time we're thinking, what do we do with the dogs' crates and all that?
Well, that's right. We've got 2 dogs' crates, and of course during the day on this Orkney trip we'll be putting the crates in the shower. Then in the morning, obviously we've got to get them out of the shower and put them on the bed, and you know, there's all those sort of annoyances. So that's why a garage really is sort of what we want in a motorhome. But hey,
but it is lovely, that Malibu. I mean,
it
won the lottery or something.
Well, but if we don't worry about our savings for our elderly care home, we'd probably be all right.
Yes. Anyway, anything else on your list?
No, book a care home.
Book a care home, God no.
So I talked about that. Obviously, in October, I'm hoping there'll be some new layouts at the NEC show.
We're a bit. They all seem to
underwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean they're very nice. I mean they're with the seats, with the travel seats and the centre bathroom.
They're all the same though.
to just it would be. I think we're going to have to try and look for things that are different this next
Well,
time.
I'm going to look for something that suits us.
Well, I know, but I think we've done to.
Yeah.
We've been in so many
we know what we
voyages
want. You know, we want twin beds. We don't want them way up in the air so you bang your head on the cupboard or fall out of them and break your neck. We want a garage. It doesn't have to be too big, you know, enough to get a bike in there. We want a reasonable lounge. This sort of arrangement here, the twin sofas, is fine. Travel seats, really, I'm not that bothered about travel seats, you know, the fold-out travel seats.
I think that where the thing with the travel seats is if we just had the motorhome, travel seats are useful. When we've taken the car as well, because we then can take another couple of people with us, you know, when we go out. And it's been, when we used to meet friends originally, when we had the motorhome, they had the caravan, used to feel, well, they're always taking us about.
Yeah.
That was one of the other nice things about taking the car with us, that we could take them out for a meal and easily without, because we haven't got any travel seats in here, have we?
No. I suppose if you've got a garage, you don't need so much storage inside. Under that seat where the camera is at the moment, I've got the EcoFlow and I've got the Aquaroll in there, plus a load of sort of boots and rucksacks and stuff like that, and toolboxes, and so there's quite a bit of storage space under there.
It's amazing what's in here. I mean, when we borrow that Adamo, the amount of backwards and forwards, you know, putting things in the van.
I mean, we don't think we're overweight in this van, but we were thinking about getting it weighed when we were away, but you didn't want to weigh because you'd have a load of people saying you're overweight, you should be driving.
Yeah, go home now, sort of thing, you know. And we weren't very well, were we? So that wasn't an option.
So we knocked that on the head, but I think there was a danger we were overweight, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't want to do. We want to be able to take enough clobber with us to have a nice break, but not risk being overweight. So I think we're looking at trying to going over 3.5 tons, and I'll cross the C1 license bridge when I get to it. It's still 3 years away.
3 years away, aren't we? Yeah, so we'll just carry on looking. I mean, everything we look at is either too expensive or doesn't quite
doesn't tick all the boxes.
Do this that we can currently do, and we come back in here and think, well,
why bother changing? Yeah. And maybe we'll end up with this, until we give up. Don't know. Anyway, we're waffling now. The other thing I just want to mention is, whenever I come back, I always end up with a load of product review videos because I'm still getting sent stuff. If I'm perfectly honest, I want to cut down the number of product reviews I'm doing. I agreed to do the Glacier and the Wave, and they sent me the Delta 2, which they probably would have seen by now. I can't remember. No, they probably wouldn't. Another power bank. Yeah. Okay. Well, they sent me another power bank, which I didn't ask for. So I ended up having to do those 3 product reviews. Before I went, I'd agreed to do the Little August radio and a crash hat review. So I've got a lot of product reviews. So if you don't like product reviews, I understand, but other people are interested in them, so I need to get those done whilst we're away. So you might see a few product reviews in the next sort of few weeks.
While we're at home, you tend to do them. You mean while you're home, you tend to do them? Yeah, because then we can, as long as we take everything with us.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, interestingly enough, with the EcoFlow products, we've always taken them with us to try them out anyway, but I can't take a crash out with me if we're not taking the bike.
No, there you are.
I could.
Where would you put it?
I could use it driving, couldn't I?
Yeah, it does make me laugh, that crash out. Sorry, it looks like you look like some of them Star Wars. Yeah. I mean, I'm not that keen on product reviews. I'm not keen on the way they sometimes make you and me feel when we get the comments on them.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, really, with the EcoFlow, we were doing that over a month.
It took me a month to do it, and lots of editing and lots of footage, and I really do try. And I'm trying to think, is this something that will be useful for the people who are watching it? And I am trying to do it so that you can make your mind up whether it's something you would buy. And I got the question the other day. It was a question that I think a lot of people want to ask: is would you buy it if it wasn't free?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we answered that with the Wave 2, and yes, we would, but it's a difficult question to answer, isn't it? If you get something, someone gives you something, and you think this is good, and you think, well, I can't go over the top with this because people think I'm just doing an ad.
Well, it isn't easy, because if you really, really like something, it sounds as if, oh, you know, you've been paid to say you really, really like it. And and you don't want to, when you've fully tested something, there is often something you like about it. That's where you do your pros and cons, isn't
yeah,
there?
that's right. That's right. And that's what I try to do. I try to say the things I like about it, the things I don't like about it, the things they could improve. And I think that helps the manufacturers a bit of feedback. If people do a video and they just say this is wonderful, this is the greatest thing, and you know, jump up and down with it, then it's helping no one.
No, no.
And that's what annoys me. And I put a lot of effort into those product reviews. And
yeah, well, I get upset for you, because especially, you know, how many more of them do you want?
Yeah.
And we've given one's away to charities, one's away to friends. You've got three at the moment.
Yeah.
And we're using them for different reasons.
Yeah.
Taking one away, using one at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, just be kind to him.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. And on that note,
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, bye then.